My aunt said my fiancée would be pretty if she lost weight. My fiancée smiled and said thank you so sweetly that I thought I misheard her. Grace is the kind of woman who owns every room she walks into. She models for plus-size brands and carries herself with confidence that makes you forget anyone ever tried to shame her for her size. My Aunt Diane couldn't stand it. At Thanksgiving, Diane cornered Grace by the dessert table. Wow, you're really going for seconds? Grace laughed it off. I'm actually on my first plate. Diane's smile turned sharp. Oh, honey, I just assumed. Every family gathering after that got worse. On Christmas, Diane said, I'm just saying, if you lost maybe 60 or 70 pounds, you'd actually be pretty. You have such a pretty face. Thank you, Grace said cheerfully. At New Year's, Diane cornered her again. I heard about this weight loss surgery. You should really look into it before you have health problems, or before he leaves you for someone who takes care of herself. Grace set down her drink. I appreciate your concern. I was about to lose it, but Grace squeezed my hand. Every time Diane made a comment, Grace would thank her, smile, or change the subject. I kept waiting for her to snap, but she never did. When we started planning our wedding, Diane became very interested in helping. She sent Grace links to shapewear companies and articles about brides who lost weight before their wedding. Grace forwarded them to me with laughing emojis. When we were at the florist picking centerpieces, Diane showed up out of nowhere. I found this photographer who does incredible work. He specializes in hiding problem areas in photos. Grace looked up from the flowers. That's sweet, but we already booked someone. Diane's smile tightened. Well, I hope they know about flattering angles because otherwise those photos are going to look rough. I felt my jaw clench. Grace just nodded and went back to looking at the flowers. At the venue food tasting, Diane kept pushing. Grace, honey, my friend runs a weight loss clinic. She could get you a discount if you started now. You might lose 30 pounds by the wedding. Grace picked up another crab cake. I'm good, Diane pressed on. Don't you want to look back at your wedding photos without feeling embarrassed? This is your one chance to look beautiful. Grace smiled at her. I already feel beautiful. The final straw was the cake tasting. We were trying all the different flavors when Diane leaned over and whispered, maybe you should sit this one out. You don't need the extra calories. Grace stayed completely calm. You're probably right, she said before eating another bite of the chocolate cake. I started shaking with anger, but Grace just squeezed my hand. It's fine. I'm keeping track of everything. The week before the wedding, Diane pulled me aside with this serious look on her face. We need to talk about Grace. What about her? Diane sat down and folded her hands. I'm being honest with you because I love you. She's too fat to be healthy. You need to think about your future. I didn't say anything. She won't be able to have healthy babies. You deserve someone who can actually give you a family. My jaw clenched, but I stayed quiet. Everyone at the wedding is going to be laughing at you behind your back. They're going to think you settled for the fat girl because no one else would have you. She kept going. You're young, successful, and good looking. You could have someone gorgeous, someone you'd actually be proud to show off. Instead, you're marrying someone who can't even control what she eats. Then she grabbed my hand. I think you should call off the wedding until she loses at least 80 pounds. Or honestly, just find someone normal, someone attractive, someone you won't be ashamed of in 5 years when she's even bigger. I stared at her for a long moment, then I started laughing. Diane's face twisted in confusion. What's so funny? I pulled out my phone. Grace has been recording every conversation with you for the past 6 months. Diane's face went pale. Every insult, every cruel comment, all of it. I showed her the folder Grace had sent me. The thank yous, the calm responses, all part of letting you dig your own grave. I watched the realization hit her. She's posting it all on social media the day after the wedding. She's already talked to a lawyer and it's completely legal. Diane finally found her voice. You can't let her do this. I shrugged. It's her choice. Diane started sputtering about family loyalty. I cut her off. You have two choices. Apologize to Grace publicly at the reception tomorrow, or she posts everything unedited. Diane's hands shook. You're really going to let her humiliate me? I laughed. You humiliated yourself. She chose the apology. Watching her stand in front of everyone the next night confessing to months of cruel comments was amazing. Grace smiled sweetly from her seat. When Diane finished, Grace walked over and hugged her. She whispered something in Diane's ear, and Diane's eyes went wide. When I asked Grace what she said, she grinned. I said thank you for the entertainment.